Welcome to the Zhangjiakou National Biathlon Centre as the biathlon events get underway and these Paralympic Winter Games of 2022, some 150, 160 kilometres to the north of the capital. You can get here quite quickly in the super train, and a lot of these spectators would have come that way. And they'll be hoping to see more fine performances from the host nation. That's what we've seen so far, that's for sure. Surprisingly good. We've got two more events, this time in the vision impaired category, starting off with the women. And in Parabiathlon for the vision impaired, they use an electronic rifle that enables them to use their hearing to take aim. It's fascinating to watch. It's intense competition. We've got a field of 9 in the women's event. And they've come from Germany, Ukraine, China, Poland and Austria. And a very strong contingent from China, but maybe it's Oksana Shishkova, hers to lose. But 94 there is Karina Edlinger, the 23-year-old from Austria. The weather looks pretty good. It's sunny, but it is a little windy. Air temperature around -6, so we're a lot higher here than in Beijing, which has been enjoying surprisingly mild conditions. But Zhangjiakou, a fair bit cooler as we get ready for the sprint for the vision impaired athletes. They'll be cruising around a 2-kilometre circuit 3 times and stopping twice to shoot. And here is your field, each of the athletes with a guide skier.
Yeah, so 5 nations, 9 athletes in the start gate, and Shishkova indeed will be the athlete to chase down, the Pyeongchang 2018 silver medalist, but some useful Germans in the field here as well. Then Kazmai, Johanna Rechtenwald and Leonie Maria Walter, and of course Yang Shanru for China as well. Can the host nation do it again on what's been a fabulous day for them? That's Edlinger, the 23-year-old Austrian cross-country, the medalist in Pyeongchang 4 years ago, bronze in the 7.5K. Now, what can she do with the rifle as well? So this is interesting, but it will be whether Shishkova can really lead from the front and show us why she has been installed as the big race favourite here in the women's VI sprint event.
Leonie Walter, 18 years of age, not the youngest though. Her German teammate in Kazmaier is only 15, and Shishkova at 30. So a good spread of ages and nations, but Germany will certainly be hoping to feature somewhere here. If Shishkova were not to have her best day, it certainly opens it up. If you've not watched Vision Impaired Biathlon before, I think you're in for a treat. And wonderful technology has come to bear to enable them to take part in this sport with the electronic rifles. You'll hear the tone emitted as they get close to the target aim, and the higher the tone, the closer they are to the target. But we're just not far away from a start now, and it's Anita Gorska in the gate for Poland with her guide, Catherine Spierenberg.
Yeah, and we don't, of course, ignore the role that the guides play. They get medals too, leading our athletes around the course. Oksana Shishkova with Andrei Marchenko, her guide. Shishkova, the silver medalist from Pyeongchang, 6 winter Paralympic Games medals all told. Mid-distance gold medalist up in the Alpenzia Mountains 4 years ago, and a sprint world champion in Finsterau 2017. Racing underway then with Anita Gorska, the 21-year-old from Poland. So 30-second intervals for our starters. It's a first Winter Paralympic Games for Aneta from Warsaw. She's competed in World Champs in cross-country and biathlon, 16th in the sprint in Lillehammer only a few short weeks ago.
Young Jianru, a 20-year-old from China, sets off. The guide is Yu Hongshun. Not a lot of experience so far for Yang, but that hasn't stopped the Chinese athletes absolutely excelling on this first day of biathlon competition.
So we know about the credentials of Oksana Shishkova. What about Natalia Tkachenko, fellow Ukrainian? Denis Nikulin is Natalia's guide here, the 26-year-old. Again, it's her first taste of the Winter Paralympic Games. Natalia Tkachenko going for Ukraine. Previously an 11th place finisher in the Sprint Classic in cross-country and at 15th in the Lillehammer World Champs in this biathlon sprint event.
Karina Edlinger, very enthusiastic, intense Austrian, guided by Lorenz Lampel, and she's had a bronze at the Paralympic Games in Pyeongchang and World Championship gold medals, 4 of them.
It's been an extraordinary opening day for the host nation, China, in the para-biathlon competition. 5 medals all told, 2 of them gold. Can Wang Yue add to the party here? The 22-year-old Wang selected to train with the Hebei provincial team in the mountains up in Hebei province. It's a tough breeding ground, but so far reaping success for Team China.
Away goes 15-year-old Lynn Kazmaier with Florian Baumann as the guide. She won't turn 16 until the end of the year. So what a promising athlete she is. Had a total of 5 top 10s in cross-country and biathlon at World Championships already.
Jonna Rechtenwald from Freiburg, age 20, a bronze medalist in the individual VI event in the World Champs 3 years ago now in Prince Edward Island in Canada. This is her first Winter Games, and she has Valentin Haag as her guide.
Leonie Walter sets off with Permen Strecker to guide the 18-year-old from Freiburg also. And some promising early results in biathlon and cross-country in this young career at World Championships. Total of 4 top 10s.
A para-biathlete to beat, no question, in this event. The women's sprint VI division impaired Oksana Shishkova, middle distance, a Winter Paralympic champion from Pyeongchang. She has a couple of silvers and 3 bronze medals as well from 4 years ago in Pyeongchang, as well as a host of medals in cross-country. So Shishkova going last, but we expect her to be up near first come the final shake-up and the business end of this race.
So we'll hear a lot of chat out on the course as the guides tell their skier left and right and pace and incline and so on. It's a real relationship that exists between the guide and skier, and what a commitment they both make to each other in terms of training and traveling. And it's very interesting to watch.
Yeah, and again, factored time, because although the general categorization here is visually impaired VI, there are sub-categorizations within that. B1, completely blind or a very low visual acuity. B2, limited sight and or restricted visual field of less than 5 degrees. B3, more sight and or restricted visual field of less than 20 degrees. So it's a pretty complicated formula, really, but the factored time is what evens things out at the end of racing.
Just Kazmaier doing a good job there with Florian Baumann. Try and settle into the same stride pattern. Now encouraging just to skate and then glide. And these fast sections, and watching Rechtenwald there, particularly tricky for vision impaired. Obviously the guide has to be fit and strong enough to be able to ski at least as fast as their athlete. And the guides themselves often race in cross-country and biathlon too. See, he's got the microphone attached to a little speaker to send the instructions to the partner behind them.
The guidance needed when these athletes get down into the prone position, into the shooting range as well. So Wang, the 22-year-old, early leader here. Edlinger, and then Kazmaier with Kachenko in third. That's Yang pushing on through. Shishkova, we await to see at the first split time, up into third place by the looks of things. Kachenko going well as well. That's well, that's 99. That's Shishkova with her guide Andrei Marchenko. Now we're into the first shoot.
So you're hearing what the athlete hears through their headphones. The higher the pitch, the closer to the target. 2 out of 2. And a miss.
Four from 5 in the first visit into the shooting range. So Yang up and away.
Kachenko.
Oh, disappointed with that. She really will be. Couple of misses, and that's a big penalty already, and serious time to make up now for Natalia Kachenko and her guide Denis Nikulin.
How efficient can Wang be? Not too bad, just the one miss. Some beautiful timber work on the rifle stock and butt there.
Not for the first time. That's 4 penalties for Edlinger. That's a horrendous start, actually, for the Austrian. Gorska as well. 2 misses. She's on the board.
Oh, 3 misses.
Horrendous. It's just too much to make up, really. You've got to be relying on someone else to mess up. And then, of course, looking after your own shooting in the second round of targets.
Volta now. Not too bad, still in the game at 1 miss. But it's young Kazmaier, the 15-year-old. It's the wonder case. Oh, Shishkova, there we go, 5 out of 5. And it's not fair to call her a veteran at 30, but she is compared to the rest of this field.
Great start there from Shishkova, just demonstrating exactly why she is the overwhelming favourite for this gold medal. So it's going to take something serious to stop her. Well, only herself can stop this procession for Shishkova, the Ukrainian. Kazmaier in second place at present, and then the 2 Chinese, although Leonie Marie Walter moving up into 4th place at present. So around about 47 seconds behind Shishkova's pace.
Just the 2 athletes shooting clear on that first round. Shishkova and Kazmaier, Ukraine and Germany. Single misses for Wang, Walter and Yang. A couple for Rechtenwald and Chachenko. 4 misses for Edlinger and 3 for Gorska. Field of 9. You see the big screen there that allows the non-vision impaired athletes in other events to just see where they are. Now, have we got a withdrawal here? We seem to. Karina Edlinger.
She had a nightmare first visit to the range, didn't she, with those 4 misses. That seems to be the end of her involvement in this the women's sprint event in the VI categorization. So scores on the doors. Shishkova with an excellent first visit to the shooting range, although Kazmaier going really well, and Yang Chan-Ru as well, just fighting it out for the Chinese. The better of our 2 Chinese biathletes at the moment. Wang currently back in 4th place.
Kazmaier, astonishing performance from a 15-year-old at her first Paralympic Winter Games, but coming through here. Wang Yue, 93. Tachenko of Ukraine. So 2 athletes from Ukraine, 3 from Germany. Edlinger of Austria has withdrawn now. Tachenko, 26. Second oldest behind Shishkova in this predominantly young field.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? But it's still Shishkova, the most seasoned athlete out there, who is demonstrating her credentials. Kazmaier at present 10:02.2 is leading the way, but expect that to change as Shishkova carves up the gap.
No, she's still just outside her, so this is very, very tight. Is Shishkova, very efficient at the range. The transition times are very good, but there's 1 or 2 skiers out there who are a little bit quicker than her. So Kazmaier in particular, and Wang is fast as well. So it's not a done deal by any means. It'll come down to that second visit.
Yeah, exactly. It may come down to the second shoot. We know that Shishkova has got a finish in her, but superb from Kazmaier at present, as you say. Half the age of Oksana Shishkova here, Lynn Kazmaier.
Volta coming through, holding a form pretty well.
I mean, a world champs in a Winter Paralympic Games under your belt at the age of 15. That is absolutely frightening. You just wonder if she keeps at it, how many The Winter Paralympic she could be involved in.
Yeah, Kazmaier B3, so the lowest impairment, or the least impairment, shall we say?
Yeah. Big 5 shots coming up here for Lynn Kazmaier. Currently really taking it to Oksana Shishkova. Has to bring that pulse rate down and shoot steady.
Oh, just having trouble getting the brace attached, and this is a very frustrating delay for her. Now it's there between wrist and upper arm. And a miss for Kazmaier, perhaps thrown off by that delay. Well, not mucking around, is it? Very disappointed to have had that miss. Reaches for the stocks and has a little bit of extra meterage to do.
Well, Shishkova's got to come into the range for a second time, but younger legs, more energy at just 15. She has that penalty loop to do, but maybe can eat that up without too much discomfort. Yang into the range as well.
Oh, she's dealt herself back into it nicely with 5 out of 5, Yang. So this is interesting. Well, the crucial shooting will come from Shishkova.
Kachenko in the range, and Wang as well. Wang Yue, who missed one on her first visit. Calmness personified there, Wang. A super straight shoot there, 5 from 5, up and away, and trying to shut down Kazmaier and Shishkova. Now then, the Ukrainian goes again in the range. Supremely controlled, never in doubt.
If you could if you could ask her, would she tell you how she has refined that technique? Because she's significantly quicker than anyone else in finding that highest tone and pulling the trigger at the right moment. And she is just something, and now it looks like it's hers to lose.
Yeah, Valter 5 from 5 as well on her second visit. So just the overall altered now to reflect a gap of around about 20 seconds that Shishkova enjoys above Lynn Kazmaier, and Valter in 3rd place at present. So it's Germany 2 and 3. Looking for another medal after Marco Myers in the men's standing. He got a silver. 91 is Aneta Gorska. And 97 is Johanna Rechtenwald there with her guide Valentin Haag. Down the order at present after 2 misses from the first 5 shots.
And she comes to the mat, and the hold of the poles as he's guided into position, and Rechtenwald. Nice job. 96 is Kazmaier, skiing for a medal here at the ripe old age of 15. and getting plenty of encouragement to give it her all. 99 is Shishkova. Holding a form okay.
Yeah, just that one miss from Kazmaier.
Shishkova, silver medal 4 years ago. A gold, 2 silver and 3 bronze in Paralympic Winter Games biathlon. Now they're allowed to make contact with the guide stock, but not to be pulled along uphill.
Yeah, necessary, isn't it, with the speed that can be generated on those inclines, and certainly into the turn. That's where the guide really earns their corn. So Shishkova there with Andrei Marchenko.
Those moments, of course, when there's contact between guide and athlete via the stock, they're all observed, and it has to be done in the correct manner.
Shishkova still out ahead of Kazmaier, and Yang for China in third place at present. Could it be yet another medal on day one of the Nordic events here? We've got the cross-country to come. Of course, our racers tend to double up across cross-country and a para-biathlon here. A lovely shot across the facility up to the ski jumping hills there, and that quite distinctive circular viewing platform and restaurant that hosted the ski jumping events at the recent Winter Olympic Games. Gorska into the range. And I'm afraid the misses are being racked up here by the pole.
So got an athlete in, Kazmaier, 20 minutes 14.6. And considering she was out 1, 2, 3, 6th to finish ahead of everybody, she's done a good job, although her factoring of 100% needs to be considered as well. That's the least impairment.
Went off 6th. Just 3 after her, the last of which was Shishkova. Of course, that's Yang Shanru.
So the factored time to beat becomes 20 minutes 14.6 seconds. And young Shanru on her way, the 20-year-old. So she's well outside the time of Kazmaier, but for the moment slips into second position.
Yeah, 2:43.2 down, and that will change, of course, when Shishkova comes in, but...
And here comes Shishkova.
Yeah.
And along with Leonie Volta as well. This is an interesting and crowded finish somewhat, trying to stay out of each other's way.
And the push for the line to make sure Oksana Shishkova, the big favourite from Ukraine.
Shishkova on the right. And into top spot goes Shishkova.
Yeah, and Valter in third place. So that's Yang pushed off the podium, Kazmaier, and then Valter.
So the two teenagers from Germany sitting in second and third at the moment behind Shishkova. Shishkova only 5.5 seconds to the good over Kazmaier. So it was very close. And of course there was that one miss for Kazmaier. So wonderful race skied by both. What a future for Kazmaier.
And Wang coming in, 2:40 down on the leading time, set by Shishkova, outside of a medal place. Oof. It was looking on for the Chinese for a while, but Shishkova, well, she knows she's done it. Yeah.
I have to say, before the race, she looked so purposeful, just absolutely focused. It was a job to do, and nobody, even a precocious 15-year-old, was going to stop her. But gosh, it's great to see young ones coming through. Kazmaier.
Well, it went with the form book ultimately. Shishkova ruling the roost still in this categorization, but the Germans have arrived, the two teenagers indeed, and what a future for those two athletes. But it is Oksana Shishkova, the big race favourite, who threw it down and will take home the gold medal. It's another one in the Winter Paralympic Games for Oksana Shishkova. Middle distance champion in Pyeongchang, couple of silvers as well, and 3 bronzes, as well as a gold in the mixed 4 by 2.5 kilometre relay in Pyeongchang 2. Top of the pile once again, Oksana Shishkova, but a great race from the Germans.
Oh, that team's got to be delighted with the performances of Kazmaier and Rechtenwald and Walter, of course. Walter in 3rd position, Rechtenwald a little further down today after some misses. Crossing the line almost together, Walter and Shishkova, but significantly apart in times. Walter went out 30 seconds ahead, and Shishkova caught her, so Shishkova finishes 30 seconds in front. I hope that makes sense to you. Shishkova and guide Andrei Mashenko getting it done in the sprint. So the athletes being informed of what's to come. There will be a recognition ceremony, either shortly or after the men's race. Can be done either way, we're learning.
Confirmation then of Oksana Shishkova's victory in the women's VI sprint. A 2nd gold medal for Ukraine after Grigory Mashivsky's in the men's, standing 4th all told on this opening day of the Nordic events at Beijing 2022. Germany, silver and bronze though, with Kazmaier and Walter. Stunning performance from those two young Germans, 15 and 18 respectively. Absolutely brilliant. China, 4 and 5.
Won't be far away from the start of the equivalent men's event. Slightly bigger field. Not sure you could get a bluer sky. But maybe in Seattle, according to the song. But gorgeous weather, chilly, sure, a little bit breezy, but it's the Winter Games, so you'd be hard-pressed to complain. They're finding ways to capture the artificial snow as it melts through the spring, rather than have it just run off. This is a water critical area, really, so they're going to make sure that 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 snow doesn't disappear completely, that they're able to reuse it as best as possible. A Green Games is what they're aiming for here in Beijing 2022. So congratulations on that effort. It's the way we all must be heading, I think. It's actually a part of the mission statement of bidding cities, that to show how things are going to be reused, facilities, resources. The IOC wants to see that those things are being done at every level possible, and the IPC as well. Stay with us, just a couple of minutes away from the men's event. So getting close to a start then for the men's sprint, the vision impaired category. Got a field of 13 and their guides getting set for this one.
Yes, so Nowicki of Poland goes off first, and then we look towards the later starters, and there'll be 5 Ukrainians: Siarko, Lukianenko, Kazik, Resteniski and Kovalevsky. Kazik third at this year's World Championships in Lillehammer. Already has 2 Paralympic medals in para-biathlon. Neither of them came in the sprint event, though. This is all about the sprint, and the last of our 6 races on the opening day of the Nordic programme at Beijing 2022, and these 15th Winter Paralympic Games. So again, it's athlete plus guide, very much a team effort. The guides get medals as well. They play a crucial role in guiding the athletes safely around the course and getting them onto the mat in the shooting range.
Sebastian Modin there, something of a veteran now. He's seen a bit of Paralympic competition. He was 7th 4 years ago. Good range of ages here, from 18 to 48.
Yeah, and that eldest athlete in the field, Piotr Gabowski, one of 3 Poles. That's Nowicki, the first of them to get racing. A 21-year-old Piotr Nowicki from Laski. It's his first Winter Paralympic Games with guide Jan Kobrin there Best performance came in cross-country at World Champs. That was in Lillehammer only a couple of weeks ago, really, in the mixed 4 by 2.5 kilometre relay. 21st in the sprint event in biathlon at those World Champs.
Deng Hisong to go next with guide Qin Haiyang from the Guoji Club in Hebei province. Not a lot of experience to talk about just yet with the young man, but he's gathering it here. An important opportunity going forward for all these athletes who've not been to a Paralympic Winter Games before. It's a testing course and altitude.
Yeah, another para cross country and a para biathlon athlete here. Pavel Gil, second of 3 poles off the start gate, led out by Mikkel Lander. His guide, 23, first Winter Paralympic experience for the 20th place finisher in the sprint event in the VI category at the Lillehammer World Champs.
Well, a very fit 48-year-old Peter Gabowski and his guide Jakub Twardowski setting off. Had 4 top 10s in Pyeongchang 4 years ago. Did Gabowski, 16th in this event. Progress out around the course.
Yeah, seeing our first skiers out of the gate, tackling the first few tricky turns in this loop, the first of 3 2-kilometre loops in this 6-kilometre race. The men and women racing over the same distance for the first time at these Winter Paralympic Games. We've seen Chalençon leave the start gate. Next up is the German, 27-year-old from Freiburg, Messinger. And
he was a 9th 4 years ago. He's got top 10 in him. I wonder if he's got something better in him. Certainly setting off like he means it.
Yeah, and has been amongst the medals at World Champs as well in cross-country mixed 4 by 2.5 kilometre relay, bronze medal 3 years ago now in Prince George, Canada. Murray next to go for the Swedes. 107 there, the bib worn by the 27-year-old Sebastian Mudin. Again, 3 silver medals from Winter Paralympic Games in years gone by. It's a history that dates back to Vancouver in 2010 when he was a bronze medalist in the Sprint Classic in cross-country. But looking out at the course there, that's Nowitzki.
He's already been significantly passed by Deng. Slightly different classification though. Nowitzki, like Moden and Alexander Kazik in the B1 category, highest impairment.
Yeah, B1 goes down as completely blind, very low visual acuity. B2, that's limited sight and or restricted visual field of less than 5 degrees. B3, more sight and or restricted visual field of less than 20 degrees. It's those sort of variations in individual impairment that contribute to the factored time.
Gabowski coming through the first checkpoint in pretty handy time. A little bit of support on that left knee. See the light towers around the course during what Paralympians like to call the warm-up for the real event, that being the Olympics. Those lights were in heavy use for biathlon events, so it's a terrific facility. Chalençon of France coming through.
Bronze medal in the 15K in Pyeongchang. a gold medalist in cross-country, the open 4x2.5 relay with the French, and a world champion as well, Chalençon from Evian-les-Bains.
Messenger of Germany just outside Chalençon's good time through there. As we go back to the start, Shtinsky, he's got a bit of history to bring to the occasion. He's been around a while. Sochi and Pyeongchang, a couple of top 5s and top 10s in Sochi. And bronze medals at World Championships in cross-country. Just out of the medals in Pyeongchang.
Our last starter from Ukraine, this is Anatoly Kovalevsky, 31 years of age, just outside the medals in cross-country. But we look back to Pyeongchang and see his silver in the 15K, bronze in the sprint, so he's got it. Can he upgrade that finish from 4 years ago? And the mountains of Alpensia, well, Kovalevsky gets away, but it's our first athlete down into the prone position for his first attempt at targets, and that's Dang from China, the 22-year-old, and he makes his first shot as well, making that transition from ski and the energy and the racing heartbeat down into that calm mode, and he makes it. Super first visit to the range for Dang.
What's impressive when they're shooting well is how quickly they can pull the trigger when they find that highest tone. Obviously, it's a much practiced art, but it's impressive nonetheless. As in they come in a gaggle.
Yeah.
They'll find the right lane.
It's 3 poles, isn't it? Coming in next, Gabowski, Gill, and Novitsky. And we're going to watch the shoot of Gabowski. Those targets, by the way, 21 millimeters in diameter. It's not much to aim at all.
This is actually Gill of Poland, not Gabowski as we were initially informed on screen, but that's all fine. Out they go. China having a good start to the race again. Deng and Yu handily placed. Messenger, Chalençon.
Chalençon missing with his first attempt.
Oh, couple. Well, he was quick. That's what I was talking about really with his progress early, but some misses there. Quick around the course.
Chalençon up and away, and he needs to be, because that's 2 penalty loops required of the Frenchman Anthony Chalençon. Morin next to shoot.
And a miss first up for Modin.
Three misses from the first 5 shots for Sebastian Modin, and that does enough to scupper your chances right off the bat after the first visit to the range. Painful. So Lukianenko and Siarko followed by Kovalevsky, Kazakh, and Reshetinsky, the Ukrainian threat, five-handed in this event, and a great start there. He goes cleared as Lukyanenko. Siarko with a miss.
We didn't see Lukyanenko leave the gate, but he's obviously made good progress around, and 5 from 5, and the gold medalist from 4 years ago at 43. Looking to back up again. 111 is Alexander Kazakh of Ukraine as well.
Yeah, Kazakh, the world champs bronze medalist. There's an internal competition between the Ukrainian squad here. The Kazakh needs a good, clean, clear start. Doesn't get it. The recovery was there from Kazakh, but he can't afford any more misses when he returns to the range.
Finds the stocks, sets off, got traffic in front of him. Kovalevsky, bronze medalist 4 years ago. Oh, goodness. Won't be a medal today with 3 misses, unless he gets a lot of help from a lot of people.
A disastrous start there from Kovalevsky. So with Modin, chances of a medal have been blown out of the water, I'm afraid, because of the lack of accuracy at the first shooting range. And there's a collision there.
I think that's Dang coming in for his second shoot. Just the skis are colliding with his guide. Hope he's all right. Easy to twist a knee when that happens.
Dang with a clear shoot his first visit. Hope that hasn't undermined his progress, hasn't set him back too much.
Chalençon coming through in 105. And that is the margin as well as his bib number. 101 is Nowitzki of Poland.
Yeah, the field bunching up now.
Lukyanenko.
Yeah, second place, 8.4 down on you. Just up ahead there is Siarko, the 25-year-old Ukrainian. And 113, that's the bib of Kovalevsky. So set way back, being forced into those 3 penalty loops because of that poor first visit to the range. And it's you from Lukyanenko.
I think that was Dang heading off into the penalty loop as well after his second shoot. So, yes, he missed 2. So that will hurt his chances. He was going really well.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah, nothing wrong with his first visit. He was 100%.
Reshetinsky. Just reminding there are 5 Ukrainian competitors in this event out of 13.
2 gold medals so far for Ukraine, a couple of silvers as well. So 4 all told, but it's China leading the way on day 1 with 5 medals. Absolutely ripped out of the blocks at the start of competition on day 1 here of the Biathlon program at Beijing 2022 at these 15th Winter Paralympic Games.
Messenger in for second shoot, missed 1 at the first. Another big shoot coming up shortly is Yu Shuang, who missed none. And Messenger astray.
Ouch. Couple of misses on his second visit to the range. And that does for Messenger a total then of 3 missed targets. And that's 3 penalty loops required, all told, on top of the race distance.
Here's Yu Shuang. Oh, he doesn't muck around. And just the 1 miss. So 9 out of 10 is a pretty good effort.
This is where the field bunches up a bit as 1, 2, 3, 4 come in to hit the mat and get that rifle tucked into the shoulder, lined up, get that sound working. And Lukianenko clear on his first visit to the range. 2, 3, 4, 5. Super shooting there from Lukianenko. Absolutely dead-eyed, the 43-year-old. Up and with those ski poles, working through the arms and off into the ski again. Terrific shooting. Lukianenko taking the lead then ahead of you, and Nico Messenger. Dang pushed down into 4th place.
So Lukianenko with 10 out of 10, and he is the only athlete to have done that so far. Nowicki of Poland has a chance to do it. No, he doesn't now. Reshetynski, perhaps. Nowicki missed 1 on the first visit, so.
Yeah, we're just weighing up the percentages on how quickly to bide your time and release that shot. Well, he waited, but he's lost his eye here.
Well,
what a shame for
misses,
Nowicki.
Yeah. So
what
tricky.
A shame.
Yeah, so tricky. Getting the oxygen back in, trying to use that tone to find the target, and the confidence just not there. Kazik. One miss on the first stop.
Yeah, the gauntlet has been thrown down, hasn't it, by Lukianenko. So Kazik, reckoned by plenty to be the leading Ukrainian coming into this event. A sprint for the men in the VI category, vision impaired. It's another miss. And the gold medal moves further away. 2 all told, so 2 penalty loops in total. It is still Lukianenko, the 43-year-old Ukrainian, who is looking pretty good now in this event.
108 is Yu Shuang, 110 Lukianenko. His guide is well ahead of him. Noticed this before, that Lukianenko 45 seconds in hand. Coming up behind 106 there is Messenger of Germany. 109 is Swako, another of the Ukrainian athletes. Bit down on his teammate though. Not out of contention. Once all the shooting stops have been done, he's got 1 lap to go, then just got to release every bit of energy you've got left for the final effort. 104, the climb for Gabowski. Yu Shuang. There's different methods of guiding. Some sit behind the skiers, some in front. Depends where they are on the course. And beside also works. But Lukianenko looking good.
He really is, for yet another gold in a run that dates back to Torino 2006 for Vitaly Lukianenko. It was Kazakh who had the form coming into this event, but the pedigree is very much with Lukianenko.
His guide, Boris Babar, has just got to make sure that he keeps his charge out of trouble here. A little bit of traffic to negotiate. A sort of split between competitors there, guide and athlete, guide and athlete. And so it's a little bit tricky. Happy to let Lukianenko go to the front, though. An experienced couple, these two. They know how it's done, and they're doing it today.
Well, Dang has come in 1908. So that is our marker, 108. Yu, the 18-year-old Chinese, rounding the bend with Lukianenko behind him.
And Lukianenko chasing a man who's really pleased to be in front of the home crowd here. Yu coming down hard and into first position, but for how long? 17:49.9 to beat. And Lukianenko's done it by 44 seconds.
17:05. Wow. The cream rises. It's Lukianenko again.
And then Swako has come strongly into second position, pushing Yu down to third. We've got Ukraine 1 and 2 now.
And Kazakh with his two misses, Kovalevsky further down. So Lukianenko again will have to wait. That's Siako with 109 on his bib. Well, they had a lot to choose from here. 5 Ukrainians in this race. So there was going to be glory in some direction. At the moment, it's with Lukianenko and Siako, with Yu in third place. Could it be another medal for China?
Well, the Ukrainians are pretty happy with their race effort, and so should Yu Shuang be. Really an emerging nation in this sport. Now they've got the facilities and they've got the interest. They've got the resources to be a force in parabiathlon and cross country. Well, of course, this is going to be some story back home for the Ukrainians following and watching Lukianenko and Swako, those who can at least. Pavel Gil, one of the Polish competitors, coming down now in 103. Chalençon of France, not far behind.
Yeah, so leading Gil home. That's the guide, Mikkel Lander, and Chalençon thereafter 2:12 down on Lukianenko. Didn't have anything when it came down to it to challenge the Ukrainians. Well, 1:10, top of the pile. It is Lukianenko, 7th Winter Paralympic Biathlon gold medal.
Reshetinsky coming down just out of the medals, it would seem, into 4th position, 1:36 down on Lukianenko. But so that is Ukraine 1, 2, and 4. Kazakh yet to finish, likewise Kovalevsky.
Yeah, those misses in the range hurt Kazakh and Kovalevsky. 2 and 3 missed targets respectively. So this is Kazakh. They're coming in 17:25 is 17:49.
Well, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
he's done it. Kazakh. Superb.
They'd have had eyes on this with a chance to get a 1, 2, 3
fabulous for Ukraine. Lukianenko, Kazakh and Siarko, a sweep for the Ukrainians.
They brought 5 quality athletes into the competition. Well skied, well guided, well shot. And what a finish it's going to be. 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. Well, astonishing. 5 in it, 5 in the top 6. That's Kazakh there, 111. His guide, Serhiy Kushiravyi. Swako being congratulated there. It's a 3rd place for him.
Yeah. And understandably, deep emotions.
Yes, I think most of us can't really comprehend what these athletes have been going through and what it means to them today to do so well.
Another silver for Kazakh, by the way. 2 of them in Pyeongchang in the individual and the middle distance, the 12.5. As we look at our last finisher, Nowicki from Poland, had to complete those 5 penalty loops.
Giving the finish plenty of effort though, the 21-year-old. Steered home by Jan Kobrin, his guide. And that is the field all home. But a convincing performance from Ukraine in this one. Lukianenko, Kazakh and Swako, 1, 2, 3. Kovalevsky and Reshetinsky, 5 and 6. Yu of China finishing 4th.
Confirmation then of the Ukrainian sweep of the medals in the men's sprint VI. Vitaly Lukianenko, Alexander Kazakh, Dmitry Siarko, with Boris Baba, Serhiy Kushiravyi and Alexander Nikonovic. They're the equally important guides for those athletes. A terrific race, and what a story. The Ukraine absolutely dominating. Kovalevsky coming in, and Reshetinsky in 5th and 6th as well. So confirmation also of the women's sprint in the vision impaired category. Shishkova, Kazmaya and Volta, Ukraine, Germany and Germany. Brilliant from the Ukrainians in the vision impaired category. 6 medals up for grabs amongst the men and women. They took 4 of them.
Recognition ceremonies to come shortly at Zhangjiakou. Vitaly Lukianenko getting himself ready for the formalities here. Medals come in a later ceremony. A good day for Ukraine. It's nice to be able to say that. So the top three come out for the recognition ceremony. The men's sprint vision impaired. Well, as we mentioned more than once, they brought 5 to the table, Ukraine, and 3 of them came through in the top spots. A tight-knit team. So they fill positions 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. Remarkable. Third place to Dmitry Swako, guide Alexander Nikonovic. Swako missing just 1 target on the first stop.
Yep, bronze medal then for Dmitry Suyako and Alexander Nikonovic as Ukraine swept the board in the men's VI sprint. What a way to end the opening day of Parabiathlon here in Beijing 2022. Kazakh, he recovered from his 2 misses to sprint brilliantly into the silver medal position. Another silver for him. And yet another gold medal, 7th Parabiathlon gold medal for Vitaly Lukianenko, and a 3rd gold as well for Ukraine on the opening day of the Nordic events at Beijing 2022.
Two 25-year-olds, and the gold will go to the 43-year-old Lukianenko. Big congratulations to their respective guides. Boris Babar for Lukianenko and Serhiy Kocharavyi for Kazakh, and Alexander Nikonovic for Swako.
What a journey they've had to get here to Beijing, and what a day up in the mountains at Zhangjiakou. A Ukrainian sweep in the men's vision impaired sprint.
Well, we were told they would rise like a phoenix after their efforts to get here, and they sure have. Out they come, the women's sprint vision impaired athletes, 1, 2 and 3 for the recognition ceremony. They say age and cunning often beats youth and enthusiasm. Well, Shishkova, I wouldn't say she's got too much age about her at 30, but the athlete she beat into second is only 15. Lynn Kazmaier and Leonie Volter, 18, second and third. But she knows where her next rivals are coming from, does Shishkova.
So Leonie Maria Volter then with Permis Strecker, the guide, secure the bronze medal, third place in the women's sprint in the VI category.
That's a fantastic smile, isn't it, from Volter? There must be some very proud family and friends watching, loving what they're seeing. Likewise for Kazmaier.
15, frightening. And a Winter Paralympic silver medalist. Absolutely magnificent. But top of the tree, Oksana Shishkova. She did it again. It's a third gold medal for Ukraine on the opening day of the Nordic events at Beijing 2022. Half the golds on offer, won by Ukraine.
Well, it's a restrained celebration, but the eyes are definitely smiling behind the mask, which is lovely to see for Shishkova. And her guide, Andrei Mashenko.
And of course, they'll be back out in almost no time at all, trying to do it all again in the cross-country events and, well, the equivalent events in the longer distances. We've seen the completion of the sprint programme in Para Biathlon on this opening day. In the mountains at Zhangjiakou, we've got the middle distance and the individual 15K to come later in these games. So, glory for Ukraine, and what an opening day as well for China. 5 medals all told, 2 of them gold.
Well, we've seen memorable performances from Ukraine. We've seen the emergence of China. We've seen a couple of athletes ski the almost perfect race today, which is lovely to observe.
Absolutely fantastic. And we've had 5 nations getting on the podium. Ukraine, 7 medals all told, 5 for China. And it really whets the appetite for the rest of the para biathlon at these Beijing 2022 Winter Paralympic Games. A quite phenomenal first day.
I hope you've enjoyed it. The course is holding up well, the weather. Asked a few questions of the athletes, but really they've come to give of their best, and that's what they showed us today, and so much more to look forward to. Hope you can stay with us. Action will continue at Pyeongchang and the National Biathlon Centre.